It's working. Should I turn it down and wait for the copyright to come later in the video? Or better do it sooner? Oh, doesn't even know I'm here yet. Look, not for me. Okay. Let's see. Well, I think it realized I'm here. Who's here? Is that you, Lou? Should that be my new intro? I was just about to message you on my Patreon, which I have for those rewatching this. Hi, hello, me again, the autistic, repetitive autistic asshole. Although really, my intro has become, at least in my lives. Is that you, Lou? I mean, you get an eternal shout out, Lou. Like, this song sucks. Okay. I'm trying out the new songs on the list. No, that one's sleepy sounding. This one doesn't sound. We want a coffin. They're all in my apartment. Like, actually, I have 3 coffins. 4. I didn't say what size. 4? Do I have more than 4? No, it should be 4. How do I not have a pair of coffin earrings? I am ashamed to my gothness. Tune's okay when it doesn't fit the stream's atmosphere. I liked it better when it was just singing the "Let's Toast to the Pain" part. All right. Do I have a coffin necklace? I have multiple pentagram necklaces. That should be something I keep necklaces in a coffin, or I used to. I have a plant in it now. It's on my wall. I keep earrings in a coffin. How can I not have coffin earrings? It's nearly blasphemous. This song's better. Thank God I didn't buy it yet. Buy any earrings yet. I just realized the brightening is really low because I didn't adjust. Okay, there we are, back to the paleness. It's like, I'm surprised I don't radiate my own light. No, I'm not that positive. Then they say people can light up a room. I'd be the person to make it dark for no reason other than I probably tripped and fell on a lamp. When does the life discussion start? Well, I was wondering to see if anybody else would show up around this time, but I like to have a discussion. So, thoughts on life and death? Do you prefer to start with life or death, or one, both? Depending on how you view things. Well, I just asked you that. I just title these things. It's a one-man circus, and I stay true to the name, circus. Except I'm less organized than a circus. one's called Baggage. Maybe this one will be good. Of course, there's just one song they're recommending that is Nightmare in capital letters. Let's find out what that is. Anticlimactic. Maybe it'll be good. Come good. Oh, okay. It's a little bit dancey. There's no. Okay. Lou, it seems natural to begin with life. Does it though? Lou. Life just comes and goes. There's no heaven or hell. You're just born into earth and become one with the earth you come from. Once you parish, not perish, but you parish. It's some weird accent trying to pronounce it there. Okay, my ADHD is like freaking the fuck out right now because I just turned on the light, music, plus the screen going on. Yeah, can't do all that. Let's see. So, are you agnostic? Does this mean you're an atheist, or are you agnostic? I had a thought earlier, which is, what if this is hell, and the hell part being, setting aside the obvious, the constant question of if you're in hell. That made me think, because I was like, because isn't uncertainty, maybe that's just hellish for me, but I don't like uncertainty. But like, at least for some people, I mean, they literally say everybody has their demons, so apparently Maze is chewing her nail. No, stop, you're gonna bite off the whole nail. Maybe don't do that. You'll hurt yourself. You've made yourself bleed before. This is kind of lame. Well, that's what I thought too. But if you think that hell, I always wonder if like hell really kind of has to be personalized. Because firstly, if you look at it from the point of view of, okay, if it's about pain, like the whole, like, burning fire shit, then why the hell do SEPA patients exist? Which is the disorder where you don't feel pain. Seems like it would be cool, but actually it sucks because pain is actually pretty important. Like, you just basically could be itching your head or something and then suddenly realize, fuck, I just cut off my ear. Like, but then also it would seem unfair, because then if they suddenly could feel pain, maybe that would be their help. But then it would be like already extra hellish for them than the average person. And what about people's pain tolerances? I feel like a lot of things are taken a bit too literally, because otherwise hell's gotta be personalized, even if it's somewhat generalized. Like, what's the standard deviation of hell? Like, is there like I really want to know the stats of hell, like the percent and the standard deviation. I think that would be funny. Is the standard deviation in hell of we don't really fucking know, because then what's the standard deviation of souls between heaven and hell if those are the only two options, depending on what you believe? Because that would be funny. What happens to the other ones? They just eternally in limbo? That would kind of be purgatory. Once you basically, which kind of makes a little bit more sense. Like if I'm inclined to believe that, that there would be a hell, then it would be more like that because it makes no sense to me that a God would create people that's who's if he's supposed to be good, why would he create people just so that they can suffer if he's supposed to also be all knowing? But then, then they say there's this whole thing of free will. But if you go down that rabbit hole, then how the fuck does fate happen? I asked my mother that when I was like a child, and she explained it as like, here's the big thing. Like from point A to point B. Basically, God knows what B is. We know what A is. God knows where we're going to end up, doesn't know how we're going to get there. But then if you think about it, there's also this whole thing about space-time continuum kind of interfering with that idea if there are parallel universes. Seems like a lot to keep on top of, which then kind of makes the whole more than one God thing make sense if you need one to rule over each one. So maybe the Greeks had it a bit more like Greeks and Romans had it a bit more figured out. But then why would you need one for hell if there's already Lucifer? But then no. It wasn't hell. It was just the underworld. Then what happens with ghosts? Is there a limbo for limbo? Like, are some spirits who then might have gone to purgatory, which would be the limbo before the one true stop, seeing which gates come to you, you get to, however that works. Then does that mean the ghosts have stuck themselves in limbo? Because it sounds a little bit like hell. Like, oh, well, maybe the ghosts, their hell is to be stuck on Earth. So what if whenever there's a ghost, it's just some kind of like in A Christmas Carol, all the souls, which would have the chains on them, they'd be stuck on Earth until they paid their dues. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe purgatory is basically being stuck here and not being able to move on and not being able to be heard. But they can still fuck with shit is the thing. Okay, now I'm gonna check the chat. The UC Life Electra. Well, I'm trying to get to that. I have no definitive answer that I could say in a stream that's gonna be around. Oh, are you new here? Suttered. Are you new or you subscribe? Hey, man. Okay. I don't know who the man is. I guess it's you, Lou. You're the man. We were just having a casual discussion about life and death and heaven and hell. I was catching up on the chat. Oh, unless Sutter is still here. Really lost his interest fast. I agree. Hell is also about your personal sins coming back to bite you in the ass. Dude, don't bring science into this discussion about fictional places. It all falls apart at that point. There is a misery index. Isn't that just depression stats? What's with that? Excuse me. Am I supposed to believe that I'm already served one? Also, okay, if we're going with reincarnation, I have something to say to all the bitches that came before me because they say that it can rack up on you and like you could have end up being like fucked up or something like that because you did bad things in a past life. I've been called an old soul. If so, that means there were multiple fuck ups in this one. Like How many of them did it take to get to this version where literally my brain is glitching? I was just an internal fuck up. Maybe that's the disorders are. It's just like that soul's running out of juice or something like that. I don't know. But depression can basically feel like hell on earth. So does that mean some of us get two hells? What if we were just too depressed to go to church? With some beliefs, then you might just as well have signed over your soul. Like that doesn't make sense to me. And I like to bring science into everything also. I'm a witch, but I'm a sciencey witch. Not really discussion, more of ADHD tangents of Electra bringing up question after question. I'm in the saddle for your ADHD ramblings. Oh, wait. I just realized why your ADHD is taking reins tonight. This isn't even the bad ADHD. This is nothing. This is why I wanted to dedicate a whole stream, because this is one of those topics that is ADHD's like a field trip with this one. Or field day. I was thinking of trip. Having a field day. Isn't a field day where you go on a field trip? What's a field day? When you get to go play out on a field? Is that where it comes from? Because I feel like it would have a simplistic background like that. Not for your ADHD. What's not for your ADHD? So about depression and a misery index. I feel like that skews the scales a bit, because how can there be a misery index if, like, what is 10? Is 10 the same as the depression? If it's as the depression, honestly, it should be a proper noun. But if it is, then wouldn't that just be depression? And do some people just skip a few numbers on that index? Because no, there can be no misery scale if you take into account disorders, because that's how long ago was this misery scale made? Because I have a feeling that shit's way off compared to 2020. Like after 2020, all bets were off. Oh, hey Rick. Welcome to the dining table. This is actually literally a dining table. We're at the dinner table having a nice and light hearted discussion about death and heaven and hell and life and all that. Please feel free to share. The misery index is used by satisfaction. It is used by statisticians to calculate mass pain felt by society. Oh, okay. That I should have realized at the index. Well, the general pain in society, that just changes all. I feel like we just got a lot more and more miserable over the years. Definitely. We're probably maxed out after 2020. Like, we made jokes back in 2016, but guys, got real bad. I believe, and I think research backs me up on this, but misery or happiness or any emotion is relative. You believe in what? Like what specifically? You misread and didn't know the definition. No, that's funny. Haha. Well, I still, it holds true, because I'm pretty sure somebody's tried to calculate, because they use the index to calculate the average amounts of misery. No, I still think it's skewed, because what is on the index? Again, what's number 10? I was right, just like at the end. Kind of right. Tell me, did your dog die as well? That's that news. Just saying, because unless you're. And yes, hello, news. Guess that was callous. My bad. You believe in yourself. Mario. Hi. How many of you are repeats? How many of you are subbed? It's alright. Seems that the death chat is a very popular topic. We're already getting people rolling in. We're not even at the hour mark. Yeah, I remember you. I remember you, Rick. You said you'd pay for my Patreon, then got wasted and passed out before you could. It's entertaining. And I'm supposed to be the entertainer. My dog died today because of the anger. Dog dying, I snapped at my group leader. So I was sent home. It's interesting that your dog died the other day. Very sad. I have a pet myself. I'm sorry if this is true, but you told me that he died the other day. So unless we're talking about the other day, or is this your cousin again? Because you told me about the dog dying, and then you said that it was just your cousin using your account when you told me that. So that was actually a trick question. So unless cousin's got the phone again, in which case I doubt they could continue this conversation where we left off. But I guess that's a good way to start a conversation, because it skips the whole beginning part, the part of how you were. Just tell them, well, I got kicked out of work. Other day could be any day. Wait, correction. I got wasted and went to a chick's home and then struck out. Is struck out mean which one is struck out? And other day could be any day. I know it could be any day, but this is apparently yes, my dog died. My cousin was here playing on my phone. Damn, you remember everything, unlike some people. My cousin forgot my birthday. Tell me, how many children do you have? And does this mean you both have dogs? Because it was your cousin's dog that died. So now your dog died. And you don't have a job. But you were in school, which you had to drop out of to take care of all your 9 kids. So you managed to enroll, to have had a job, enroll, drop out, get a job again, get fired from the job, and kill 2 dogs. I'm sorry. Sounds like it wasn't going well. Why are you using the necklace of my pit bull? I'm not using it, buddy. I bought mine off of Amazon. I have 2 kids, but I don't see them as they are. I'm sure you'll remember this in Japan living. Remember this in Japan living with their mother. You said you had 9 last time. Are we talking to brother or sister? Which one is it? Certainly isn't cousin. Cousin would have tried to tell me that Lou was a bully by now and that I was part of a hate group supporting LGBTQ on Twitter, even though I don't use Twitter. do remember everything actually, so it's gonna be kind of funny if you want to keep trying to work this one with me because I remember all of the things that you were saying, and I remember every single lie that you spun. One of my strengths is my memory. I don't know what is the problem. So hostile, but I'm being very nice. Love your content. What the fuck? I can't tell if I'm guessing there was sarcasm in the love your content part because if not, I don't understand. And also, I'm not being hostile. I'm not feeling hostile at all. Okay, that didn't work. As in no children in German. Well, yeah, I know that that means no in German because I had an aunt who taught used German commands to the German shepherds. Honestly, it seems very like it that seems very nice, like just to go with what where the dogs are from. Making sense, dude. Seriously. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Got distracted. There was a lot going on. Lewis had it. Lewis had it. You broke Lou. You broke Lou. I was waiting. What was the message? I didn't get to see the last message. Apparently, whatever it was just too much. I'm sorry, Lou. I love you, Samad. You're great at it. No, that would have just been unprofessional. You're a mod. You can't leave. Not when the ladle is present. Actually, not when goggles, because these I'm more sure I can have. Not when I'm here. Let's just say that, because then I'd have nobody to mod and then I wouldn't be able to stream. But it was still funny because I was waiting until you, I'm just fed up with the bullshit she was spinning. Honestly, same. And I'm gonna get back to the topic of life and death, but it was also fun to call them out on it. It was just something about some new family member and disability they had or some shit. Okay, so now we're on disability. We're swinging back to that. Yeah, I was kind of getting tired of it too. Like, that's something I feel like I should get paid for is dealing with that kind of bullshit. Also, if you're making up fake disabilities after you killed 2 dogs and left 9 kids for the 2 that you decided to only have after you already sent them to Japan, but you lost your job today after, in a matter of days. Actually, that was quick. Dropped out of college for nothing because just got dropped. Also, I never heard of a group leader at work, but yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, Lou. Go back to topic. The topic, yes. Do any of you in the afterlife? I personally believe there's just more to this whole thing than we know. I don't know what it is, but I don't believe that like we could have preserved texts the same way because first of all, language has evolved into new languages. So much less thinking about like if you think a British accent sounds dramatic, then imagine what the phrasing was like thousands of years ago. Like, maybe things were a bit more metaphorical than we think they are. It's also kind of funny how, like, in the Book of Revelations, the Protestants just like threw out one whole section of it because they were like, "Nah, this part has all the dragons. We're just not gonna deal with it." I don't know why. I don't know the whole story of it, but I do know that part of it is basically like redacted. I do want to know what secrets the Vatican has. Um, I think experience personally and life is in the brain. Dead brain, no life slash experience slash anything. Well, theoretically, that kind of is one of those situations where it goes both ways because if they're if everything is just in your head, then how could you come up with the fact that they're like if if experience in life is just in your brain, then why would you envision like think of the fact that there's death? Then that's theoretically really we're just um nobody really technically dies if you think about it because I mean I was thinking about plants today to say how like plants do like they do like have had positive results when you talk to plants and like that they've shown that that makes them happy. Well, parts of them were people once. Like, because people get taken back into the earth, so maybe they like it because maybe it's like the most amount of whoever's in there takes over with the taste of music that they like. But then again, if it's like really old, it kind of makes sense that they liked classical music. Wonder if like there's fucking Mozart in the Christmas cactus that's in the garage. Should I play some Mozart in there? No offense to any of the spirits of this, by the way. I do not know what is out there, but I am a witch and I believe in the fact that there is keeping the balance and that we humans are very good at throwing them out of balance. And as a witch, one of the main things you need to remember is that the universe requires order. And the reason I believe in all this because it also is backed up with like science, like things restoring themselves to equilibrium, the way osmosis works, the way in the body where there's sodium, water follows sodium, so that's it's the like that things have will be restored to an equilibrium. Why the body doesn't function at things that aren't considered homeostasis, the equilibrium of the body. So I believe there's a lot to be said about balance and the fact that every living thing has energy and everything has some sort of energy in the sense that their atoms are vibrating to a lesser degree. Well, they vibrate more like with the solids, but say like the liquid or gas, it still's got atoms, it still has electrons, it still can have anions and ions and be positively charged or negatively charged. What if on like if you think about it, one thing I thought of was how like essentially aren't we could be a single bacterium in the body and we wouldn't know it because that's the body is the universe of the bacterium. Like for example, like the bacteria that's in your gut. So whatever is in your like your colon and your large and small intestines will have the bacteria. Well, it houses bacteria. It's its own biome. So then you can quantify that in like ratios where it would basically equal that you would be the universe until it's onto the other universe that is the universe of the universe. And the way things overlay with each other, the way the dimensions work, and the way that we found out about space time and how protons fucking don't move like a proton, not proton, where they did the experiment. It's fascinating where the protons they moved when would only move when we were looking at them. I think that was the exact. How am I forgetting this? I studied quantum physics for years when I was younger. Let me keep going with this. The Vatican is sitting on ancient texts, art, scientific papers, greedy misogynist, specifically misogynist. Those texts, radical feminists and out there looking for them. It's a lame jokes. I was just thinking of the text as like angry females. Like every single paper is its own individual. Look, you open this can of worms. This is something that has been requested before by Lou. So this can of worms was opened by you, Lou, and we're on the ADHD roller coaster for this one because it's going to be one hell of a ride. The soliloquy. I don't know how to say that word, but I like it. It must go on, shall go on, whatever it is. I want to see what's in the chat. I thought you were saying any vacations roaming around through the stream. Yeah, I know. I want to know what's in the Vatican. Ancient texts and the mystics and stuff. The way things go full circle, how we're starting to realize more and more about mindfulness and stuff like that. I'm just sitting here like, duh, guys. That's why I love psychology. It's because theoretically we're the makers of our own existence. And the brain, the body can live without a heart, but it can't live without a brain, which fascinates me because of the way that the heart is considered to be the thing that pumps blood through. It's considered to be. It is the thing that pumps blood throughout your body, keeping all of your organs alive, including your brain. But your body can live without it for a short period of time. Yeah, I meant like it can theoretically live without it. Like you can put someone on a pacemaker, but there's no brain pacemaker, like or equivalent thing. There's nobody to be like, yep, let me produce them EEG waves for coming from the brain. Like, no, you decapitate someone, that's it. Like, no going back from that. You can't sew that one back on, buddy. Let me read more. For not too offended. Honestly, they're sitting on some. The Vatican is sitting on some shit. They're so secretive. They have to know something. I want to know what the Vatican knows. Fourth dimensionally, we exist as a sliver in the fourth dimension forever, I guess. But a decomposed person isn't a person anymore. But you see, that's the part. What makes a person a person? Because we can replicate everything except the consciousness. We've been able to replicate a brain, an AI, basically. Death comes to those who wait. Well, yeah. Let me see. Basic structures of matter isn't the same as human brain or experience. Okay, wait, I need to catch up on the chat. Lou, a balance doesn't necessarily mean it's a delicate balance. The world and the universe is some delicate flower. It's a massive force that can destroy and create at a whim. I didn't say it was. Tell me to come back to that, Lou, because I have really, really important point on that. Lou, will not to create / destroy brand new matter, but I think I get my point. You can't create or just energy can't be created or destroyed. What is energy? Energy comes in many forms and theoretically come from matter, and well, you can't completely destroy matter. I'm really need to not have too much of this when I'm trying to have this type of discussion. Also, I tested it earlier, and I had just a can of Shasta, however you call it, say it. 'Cause I'm poor, and yeah, it turns out I just like having something to keep picking up and drinking. Makes no big difference. Um, solilo- soliloquy. Is it? How do you pronounce the last part? Well, not creative. Pause, guys. I will tell you when to talk once I want to get down all the way. Not really an ADHD roller coaster, more of a highway with no shoulder, a long highway with no shoulder exit. My ADHD field trip. We can do what we want with it. If you drive fast enough, then it can feel like you're on a roller coaster when you're going in a straight line. The brain's most complex. Religion is a big scam to hold power over others. Will be able to replicate consciousness eventually. It's only a matter of time. The laws of thermodynamics could be rewritten in the future, but we're just going on the best we knew. Soliloquy. Soliloquy? Did I get it? Also, you guys can start. Go ahead. And I was gonna say, I don't, even if I were, I call myself spiritual if I had to pick something, because witchcraft is a craft, not a religion. Contrary to what most people think, Wiccan is a religion. Paganism is Wicca. Sorry, you're Wiccan, or you are a Wiccan, or you're pagan, or whatever. Those are all the ones that usually practice witchcraft. But you can be a Christian witch, actually. I'm glad I said it right. I think you realize it. Feel sorry for those lives to the chain of religion. Not sure what that means. I was about to say, I was like, okay, let me try to think of my Latin. Memento. I know that means moment. Mori is I. Yeah, so technically that's moment I die, I think. Because I think more, and the I makes the, or remember, memento mori. I think you're missing a word, because I think it doesn't have remember in it. I'm not sure. I love how you're trying to tell me a quote that you like, and I'm critiquing it. I'm sorry. I'm on a whole like, I'm on the ADHD field. They were talking about life and death, so that kind of actually fits. Uh, remember, you must die. Or remember death. Oh, okay. I didn't even finish reading that, and then I was like, okay, I'm kind of right. The I, when something ends with like the way something ends changes what it is, like who it's referring to. That's kinky. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to say that out loud. I'm okay. I was losing track. My brain was like back to death and life. Sorry, I have ADHD, so I'm all over the place. What was I gonna say? I was talking about About the laws of thermodynamics and stuff being rewritten, that is true because once we used to think that the Earth was flat. For all we know, everything doesn't make it is completely wrong. But that's the thing is there's more to it, and I want to know what it is because like dark matter, and like what's dark matter? Is that where we go when we die? Like what the fuck is dark matter? And it makes up so much of the universe, but we don't even know what it is. But it's matter, and it's the way I think is that we fundamentally understand things, but everything is theoretically in our. We can understand things, but it won't like the brain in the vat theory. The brain in the vat of it being it's a brain in a vat that's being controlled, and that is the whole world is in your head. And I remember as a kid thinking that. I remember this distinct moment being in the car. And I remember the buildings I was looking at when I had this thought because me and my childhood ass thought it was really deep thought apparently. One that's like burned into my memory. I think it's like burned in my memory because when I took a college course in philosophy, took that when I was like 13 and I took it online. Didn't get credits for it, but I did. I got a good grade in it. I just took it for fun because I was bored in school. I found out about brain in the vat and I was like, shit, I had that thought. And I was like, well, yeah, this is kind of how philosophies happen. People have that thought and you probably aren't like, depends to find out if you're in the new one. But everything, the reason, I guess it's like, what exists can only ever exist in the exact, not moment, but my throat, I don't even know what to call it, tiny bit of what it is. That's space and time. So they're morphing together if you mix those two together. So you drift off and gone. I think I am probably gone. I think there's a lot we don't know, but I think unfortunately human consciousness, you is just poof, gone. You drift off and gone. Oh, I thought you were saying that me and my ADHD ass drifted off topic and we're gone. I was like, to be honest, you're probably right. I don't even remember what I was talking about. um, where do we drift to? Do we drift? Do we rush? Do we dissipate? Do we fly? How do we get there? What's there? And if you think of it as proof, you're thinking of the whole like proof of existence of René Descartes, the Je pense donc je suis or cogito ergo sum, or you'd say that's if you're pronouncing it ecclesiastically church Latin way, um, which is I think therefore I am. So the very fact that you can think means that you exist, but does it? Doesn't mean that you exist. There is non-existence. What is non-existence? Because if there's existence, okay, if there's existence, we don't fully know what existence is to even begin to understand what non-existence is. So that probably goes into it. That probably mixes into why we don't have one set idea of what comes next. Maybe because we haven't even figured out what it is existence is. And but it's all concepts. And if it's all in your head by what you're saying, Rick, then and it's all in your brain, it sounds like you're going with the brain in the vat theory. The theory, but that one is also like it can be like the simulation theory. But it doesn't necessarily have to be like some matrix, something we already know about. Because if we knew about it, then it probably we'd know about what it was doing. We'd figure it out by now. I believe consent does. He found himself. Not sure what that is. not sure what that is new or what you're saying exactly. Non-existence is an absence of you. You don't need to know it is to know the construct, what the construct of existence is. Well, no, you can understand it, but I guess if you make it that simple, then it's then lack of the non-existence of who you were as it is, I guess, would make sense if we're only going off of the the variable of things being random, saying that you do exist, but you'll never be able to occur in the exact same shape and form and thought and consciousness. But if it were all up to genetic DNA too, then there wouldn't be twins. Those have different consciousness because then that comes into where things are shaped as you. I do get what you're saying is that we can understand what the construct of existence is because we created the word. So we'll know what it means. But I feel like where did it all start? It's the God of the gaps argument for the afterlife. Hey, we won't know this. Must mean an afterlife is possible. Oh, we learned something new, so now maybe it's this other thing until it isn't because we learned more. So I'm not saying that there is one definite answer. What's next? I'm saying I'm not satisfied that we know more. And it's really no that like humankind as a whole isn't because we aren't fully agreed and gung ho, every single one of us about one thing, one structured religion to go by. So it wouldn't make sense if it were exactly like that. You're thinking if you believe in quantum physics, then you can't think linear. I would counter you with the way you're thinking. I'm seeing your train of thought, but it seems quite linear in the sense that it's just like that's it. You stop. How'd you start? I know there's like the way it all happens, obviously, but I mean, where did that Big Bang come from? What made that? And if it does, the whole universe as we know it doesn't exist, then that's just as we know it. What would be there? Something's there. There's something or there's nothing. And if there's nothing, then how are we there? But then we don't know what nothing is because we've defined there being something by the existence of us. Very self-centered way to define things, honestly, which is what you were saying. The thing, what happens after is you cease to exist. It seems that that's not true because you're a part of everything else. You'll be retaken by the earth. So you don't cease to exist. Just like how your memories, the memories of you, your legacy, that won't cease to exist. If you cease to exist, then you would have never, then it's impossible for anyone to ever fully cease to exist. Otherwise, they never could have existed in the first place, because that would mean every single bit of them would have to be wiped off this earth, not forgotten over time, not any type of remnant. No, every single molecule down to the electron. We're going way, way down past molecules even. Every bit of them would have to be gone, including the idea of them, which theoretically is molecules because it's certain memory in the brain amongst the neurons. That is true that every culture does have some idea of the afterlife, but that's the thing is there's so many, but there's still a common theme amongst it all, which is that there is, and it could all be that we want to believe that, but that doesn't make sense because there's got to be something. I'm not saying we live on after death. I'm wondering, how did we get here in the first place? Because if we came from somewhere, maybe all we're destined to be is part of the fucking dirt. But then what's the consciousness? What happens to our consciousness? Does it dissipate in the form of energy? Like, let me see. There is no thinking. Like going a bit above that. We know where human consciousness is stored, and when that dies and gets shoved in the ground and cremated, that's it. But then you'd have to be able to define consciousness, because if consciousness could be defined so simply, then if one, it then it would be, it could be implied that you could replicate a consciousness, but there's never been a replicated consciousness, not in the same form compared like there's never been, at least, okay, maybe there's stories of the reincarnation, but then there's no replica of the connected consciousness and physical form of said consciousness, assuming if you believe in a reincarnation, from what I can tell at least, unless we're talking about parallel universes. The humans. Oh, wait. Well, I know you're not saying that we are wiped from existence. Okay, if we're not wiped from existence, then what exactly is it that we would become? Do you go back to where you started, or do you start over? Well, the true, like, news, you can't fully know. Well, we do understand death, but if you think about it, death is, it's not an it, saying we understand death, as the process now, but we still use it as an as something, almost, we'll use it to refer to it almost like it's a proper noun, as a thing, and not just as a process. Oh, squirrels. Age-old question. Who are we? Where did we come from? Yeah, it is the age-old question. That's what makes it interesting, is we haven't really found an answer. Or what I want to know is, what if we did, and it's forgotten? That's why I wonder if you think of it in the way that things keep, like a life cycle, what if we're repeating cycles even in that? And the phrase history repeats itself, well, maybe not in the exact same way. What if it's you move from one parallel universe to another, because each one is going to collapse in on itself, which, if it does, then it'd be, maybe that's, well, black hole is a dead star, basically sucking everything into it. Then, so just thinking that I need to get back with my catch. Ah, tofu. Not yet. Give Elon Musk a few more years. I will not let him have all the credit. Not that I would necessarily get any credit, but seriously, like, the guy's smart, we get it, but also, like, he can do, like, great things. But if he's smart, but, like, so Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking didn't claim to know the secrets of heavens and the earth. We did say he knew what was beyond that, theoretically. It's all in theory. Well, then who turned the lights on? Well, Rick, that's actually interesting. The transfer versus copy. Incarnation without memory might as well be the same as permadeath, because who cares if my soul gets reborn? Me, Rick, is dead. Oh, I thought in my head I read that in like old caveman voice, like me, Rick dead, me dead. It's like I just read it like that in my head for some reason. Lights on, eggs per to a point that your brain starts working in the womb. So does this mean that you're against abortion if you consider that to be the lights on phase? That's if you value human life, though. And I don't know if you do. I was going to say something. Yeah, also the transfer copy thing. Well, I guess the difference would be the if it's reincarnation, it's transferring. If it's the Neuralink thingy, then it's that would just be copy paste. But it'll never be the exact same thing. I'd be very confused, especially considering that there is no downstairs. This is a single level house, so I'd be very confused. And if it were my apartment, I wouldn't be confused because there are barbecues outside complex. And I'll be interference is killing a life, but I also don't care to impose my belief on others. I respect the hell out of that, Rick. Thank you. Thank you. I respectfully disagree with what I'm not against it, and because I kind of view it as a quality of life thing. We haven't exactly it really depends on how you look at it to even pinpoint like the 6 week mark that they do. But also, where did the first the sperm and egg come from? My question, Rick. That's what I meant. Like that. Where was the lights on for that first lights on? And I appreciate the hell out of the fact that you just don't feel the need to impose the belief. Thank you, because that topic in itself, like I have very like strong. You can hold a very strong belief and strong opinion, but it doesn't mean that you have to use it to force. Like the strength in that is not in forcing another person to have the same one. Squirrels. No, I meant like, well, if you're trying to like, where did those first eggs and sperms come from? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. I see you're here for the serious things. Who the fuck did Mars and Venus come from then? Okay. Take it all the way back to the Big Bang. If you want to go through its evolution, fine. It's hydrogen, and it's hydrogen. Pretty much reason it's first on the periodic table. Hydrogen and helium, I believe those are the first two that were there. They are the first two things. They are the things at the core of the sun. So, what made the hydrogen molecule? Yo, I was just saying, yeah, I was saying like go back Big Bang, but like with Big Bang, was there just nothing and then pop hydrogen atom? Was it an atom or a molecule? I think it was an atom. Well, I, I don't know what you mean with that thing. So yeah, squirrels. Yeah, I guess it could be easier if you find it content. From what I learned statistically, people who are religious are often happier because they have that ability. That theorize like psychologically, one of the reasons is that it gives a sense of being content, knowing what's to come. I guess that's where I would derive from. It's probably not like there's something to put your worries upon. Take nothing less, no thought. Well, but I'm not asking about the impact of life and death or I'm asking questions about it. I didn't think that like my mere existence has virtually like okay, if I had to pick a purpose that I knew for sure was here is a purpose is to exist, be one the space-time continuum, keep other parallel universes in check by my needing to exist in this one. I don't know, but then again, I wonder. I feel like if you look at Mother Nature, it seems to get really pissed at us, and like it's funny. People keep saying like a bunch of people do bad things, then Mother Nature comes into, and that's some of the terrible things that happen, like signaling the end days, are bad things happening in nature. Kind of makes sense because probably like, but then again, did we cause the end of days with? Is that a metaphor? Like with the sins? Maybe our sins were. Is our carbon? Maybe our sins are. Is our carbon footprint like? Oh fuck no, it's not. It has to keep us alive, at least. Well, human needs. It's not ambivalent. Otherwise, water wouldn't exist and we wouldn't exist. It has its opinion, but it puts us in our place. Put on your skin. Interview that she was forced to bear. What podcast was that? And humans having drastic long-term effects on nature, I consider hubris, human arrogance. I don't think that it's not on the existence of Mother Nature. No, not necessarily, but we certainly have had a drastic, like as a collective whole, we fucked this planet up pretty, pretty well, like pretty royally. Ah, haven't heard of it. Although I don't listen to many podcasts. Yeah, we are. Except Mama doesn't give verbal and clear answers. That's although we are gifted things, and I personally think that people like you, maybe it's your gift, the bond, mother and child. I didn't think it'd be upset about us. That's why I said it puts us in this place. Like literally, we keep destroying the earth. Okay, then we'll have no earth to live on, or it'll destroy us first. So we're kind of fucking that up royally. Like, okay, before we knew that we were fucking it up, that was one thing. That was kind of like, when they put like radium in everything, and like in toothpaste, and had like the radioactive water, and it was supposed to make you look youthful or whatever. And I think it was Victorian era, something back in them days when they were drinking radioactive water. Yeah, they thought it was a good idea then too. And now we know that causes cancer. So we stopped doing that pretty quickly. Yeah, we're like, yeah. The supreme selfishness lies in that we'll be like, I won't be around to witness the destruction of humanity as we know it. So let me just do some littering. Like that's where you see the sheer selfishness. So if we're, it's kind of funny how it makes sense that we survived this long being this selfish, but it ended up becoming in a way our undoing, or what might be our undoing. I mean, yeah. Also, I was like watching a podcast before this. Normally, I read the chat out loud, but you got this stream's popping 6 people. But I mean, like you got you guys. Okay, weird accent out of nowhere. I don't even know what accent that was. I only like know how to make one, which is an Arabic accent. I know how to make a British accent, or do British. You guys get the idea. I disagree. We're not naturally cooperative. We were. But then we kind of like fucked that up too. I feel like maybe Mother Nature is trying to like give us a swift kick in the ass and be like, kids, get along. Look what you're doing. Come on, you're fighting. I get that feel from Mother Nature. Do you believe, Rick, that some people have a closer affinity with the earth? Like, do you believe in how some people can have extra sensory, or just not necessarily, I'm not talking about the classic extra sensory, I'm just saying extra sensory, like than what we normally are used to? Like how it's kind of like, people are like cat whisperers. They'll just be able to calm pretty much any cat. It's like, do you think, what gives us that special ability? Where do you think, Rick, that it, I don't know. I question everything. Okay, let's hear the British accent. I refuse. No, no, no. That's for my Patreon. I'd have to have a fan request for that one. If Lou reminds me, then I'll check it out, because I genuinely would mean to check out that podcast news, but I probably would forget. So, like, at least remind me of the name of it before I end the stream if you're planning on sticking around. Well, the Earth is billions of years old, and humans have been around 200,000 years, so human race has been able to accomplish. Honestly, it is kind of impressive what we've been able to do. Like, there's still time for the Earth to reverse itself, so I don't blame it that it's like this pandemic thing. That was probably Mother Nature being like, fuck's sake, you guys, I need less of you here. I wonder if that was part of it. Like, I had this feeling that something big was going to happen for years. Go ahead, call me crazy or whatever, but look, I've already said that I practice witchcraft, but I'm not religious, so I probably already sound crazy. Who am I kidding? I hold the ladle, and this is what I think will make me seem crazy. Anyways, back to my point about witchcraft. I forgot. What was I saying? Damn it. What was I saying? I was saying something. You crazy. Oh, come on. That's just annoyingly lazy typing. That's just autocorrected wrongly with a hyphen. Autocorrect just had a glitch. Oops. 200 fraction of a second in time. Yeah, basically, and we did that much. Subconscious things that aren't easy to explain, but it's all based in science. Well, I'm not saying it isn't based in science. I'm saying that science, like, I'm not saying things aren't based in science. I'm saying that what we know of science, like, theoretically could almost, the way people, like, hold on to it so strongly, it almost seems like a religion, just one that doesn't involve slaughtering things usually. Actually, never mind. We kind of do that for food. Well, that's not always. Anyways, scratch that. Science is not a religion. But I think, is atheism considered a religion? Or do you just say that you're an atheist? Meaning that means you technically don't adhere to any religion and don't believe in anything else other than what we see. And people that maybe it's just used as a noun, or as an adjective for yourself, but it's kind of like when you say that you're an atheist, but it sounds like a religion to me, a religion of nothingness. Sounds like a boring religion, like they didn't even try. Witchcraft is actually a whole different energy. Works with energies, not a whole different energy. Again, fan request. If you go to my Patreon, I will do that. I will be a sellout for types of shit like that. If you want me to drink my apple juice from a ladle, I can. Just put a paywall in front of anything. Pretty soon it'll be, guys, if you want to see me. Wait, you already brought up what? No, you didn't bring. Did you bring up me talking about that? I did not say anything about my acne in relation to a ladle. Or wait, was there another thing that you said or asked? Also, squirrels. Or squirrel. I was calling you squirrel. Gotta stick to one name. I'm trying to remember as many of you as I can. Are you subscribed? It's a joke. I don't really care. Oh, well, I always try to ask because I like to. I miss a lot of jokes, and I still laugh at the jokes even if they're like delayed. I can think they're funny because then they're still new to me. But if you don't care, then it's fine. Now science is a process. Atheism is the absence of religion. But isn't the absence of religion kind of the same idea as religion? You're adhering to a certain, well, religion. No, you can have a religion without religious practices. Because I was gonna say it's kind of like religion without doing the shits. It's not a craft though. It's not like witchcraft where it's just doing stuff. It's a set belief system, like atheism. And science, yes, it is a process. And I thought you were saying it is, not that it has. Also, you may hear my stomach growl very loudly sometime soon. Have I eaten today? No, not since last night, but it's date night. It might be date night. Is it date night? I'm pretty sure I'm seeing fiance night, but I don't know if we're gonna eat. If we're not gonna eat, I'm gonna be really upset because I want food. Signs is falsifiable. Did I say that right? Religion always falls back on faith or I just believe bullshit. LOL. Well, science kind of considers itself to have laws, so it's kind of a pretentious religion. At least religion is like, yeah, you just gotta believe. You just gotta believe. Science is like, no, this is it. This is what it is. But it is technically falsifiable. We just go off of laws. I still am pissed about the imaginary number. Dude, I literally specifically ignored that chapter in school when I was in high school. I was like, you know what? I got a lot of other shit to study in this, and I don't care about this. And it wasn't like because I didn't care, it was because it angered me. I did not like the idea that they made up this entire concept. Like, we came up with a concept to rationalize what is around us, mathematics, which is the basis of a lot of things. Like, great, okay, good, mathematics. And then you made something up in mathematics. Fuck you. No, I don't care to work with this. I know it's -1 because you can't technically find the square root of -1, but I didn't study at the time to learn all of the square roots and stuff. And yeah, it hasn't served me jack shit since then. And that was what, 4 or 5 years ago? Oh, damn, I'm feeling old. Okay, it was not 5 years ago. It was not 5. It can't be 5 years ago. Almost 4 years. Okay, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. Okay. I didn't just like completely forget when I graduated high school and my age simultaneously. Yep, that was my stomach growling. If you heard anything, it's still gonna growl. I remember you were like, dude, my acne is already bad. Do you want to see me just be a walking zit? Did I say that? Because, I mean, it sounds like something I would say. But I don't remember what I said. Oh, about gluten? Was it about gluten? Because these don't have gluten in them. First time here, I dig that you're talking about ideas. Good, you better subscribe, please. I'm a really tiny creator. Like, just subscribe, help me with the algorithm, and please. All those the hills over there. Oh, it took me a second, and my brain first went to over hill, over dale. Just went straight to the song. Oh, good night. Gotta go. Good luck. Enjoy the rest of the stream. Thanks for the chat. All right. Good night. You still said you were gonna look at my Patreon. At least give it a chance, maybe. But I hope you sleep well. Thank you, Lou. You already do things for me. You didn't say that, but I knew you. Are you straight up have gone from just recording quotes for me to just like writing down quotes for me to say to become quotes? How meta should we make this? Like, should you quote yourself quoting me that is an like, you have to just specify that it's an imaginary quote. But I would literally, the only thing that made me stop, I was like, I usually don't use the term zit. The rest of it, I was like, nah, that sounds about right. It sounds like me. Oh yeah, I need to tell people to share, I just realized. It wouldn't be a real quote because unless I quote you as the quote, because it's not a quote if it's me saying it. I'm not going to go into that. That's another rabbit hole that I don't need my ADHD to jump down. I never understood why they said, like, in your arm, how you've got a funny bone, maybe in your knee too, or the joints. I never found it funny when I hit it. It just hurt. Like, I never understood why People laugh. It just is an uncomfortable feeling. Then I'll tell you that it's a fake quote and we get into an argument whether it's real or not. No, you're just betting on my having a bad memory. You pointed it out. I will remember. I've already shown. I have a very good memory. Just it seems to be very particular, and I don't always get to choose what it chooses. If it's in the same conversation, nope, probably won't remember it. Ask me 2 weeks from now, and I might remember every single syllable I uttered. Who knows? Why do people laugh? I think people laugh. That's why it's called a funny bone. Yeah, it makes you feel weird. It's probably just hitting a nerve. Why don't they say why did they say like the feeling of pins and needles isn't funny? I didn't realize that that was a sensation of pain until somebody pointed it out to me. I just thought that was weird. I just thought it felt weird. I didn't think that it was really pain, but it kind of makes sense because it's your blood rushing back to an area that it was cut off from, and it's like, what the actual fuck, lady? Who laughs? Funny also means strange. Nah, that's true. I was about to be very lame and actually seriously try to pull off the joke of funny how that works. But no, I'll call myself out. Just call myself out before other people do. And just put a label on me of has been called out. It's like, for what? I don't know, but I'm preparing. I'm calling myself out now. It's like a bad version of the whole, like, I'm calling it. I'm calling it now. No, I'm calling myself out. I'm calling myself out. I am. What time is it? Okay, it's getting a bit late and I don't have as much time. So, because I will probably be seeing fiance, and I just finished watching Sabrina, and I want to just go rewatch it again because I have TV show abandonment issues. A life discussion. What's a life discussion? This one. Has it been a life? It's been life and death. It's been this has just been more of me questioning things, speaking into the endless void, the amount of sound waves that I've produced to no one, like in front of me. I'm still like trying to comprehend this whole idea that people genuinely consider themselves fans of my content. It's still bizarre to me that people pay me for it. I'm not not knocking it, not knocking it. Fully appreciate it. I love that. I'm just still in that phase of like, wait, you guys actually don't mind this because it fucking sucks being stuck in here all the time. I mean, I talk to myself a lot, actually. Like, I genuinely do, even when I'm alone. I just say things out loud all the time. I just talk to myself. Seems sad now that I say it out loud. Time you threw out a question we couldn't answer, I'd be on the floor by minute 6. It would be sooner than that, my friend. Well, online friend, I don't know you in person. It's so weird because to me, literally in my head, you guys are just like personalities associated with icons, which is very strange. It's very, very strange. It's kind of gross when people consider people fans. Well, I actually asked, like, if people are. I don't consider people like fans of me. I've been told that they're a fan of me. Yeah, see? Thank you, Lou. So like it's more of me comprehending that feeling, but I wouldn't say like it's about whatever you want to call yourself. If you just find yourself partial to using my face as entertainment, probably my voice and face as entertainment, then much appreciated because kind of what I'm doing here, and also I get to ramble on and I get some nice, satisfying sentences to come back. Yes. You I always love to hear talk. Don't like people very much. But I like you, maybes. This is the maybes. The maybes. I love you, mate. Maybes. Maybes. May. How long can I get away with this, May? Tell the people you love me. That's their opinion. That cat is in the mood for some death metal. Totally seems like it. My greenback, I'm a walking. Oh, I read that as I'm walking a white L, and I was like, is that some weird version of taking the L, as in like assuming the loser position, but like in some white supremacist manner? I was like, I don't like, is that like white light? I don't know what that is, Lou. I was really concerned for a second there. I didn't know. Funny how the brain fills things in sometimes or tries to fix it. No, because I feed her, so she sometimes comes into my grasp. She doesn't try to escape it. Sometimes she just likes me, guys, okay? Most of the time, it's like right as soon as I get off camera, she's like, oh, now I want to show you that I love you, or something like that. Whereas, like, feed me, one of the two. But then she'll be all cute and purring. Meanwhile, on camera, she's like, nah, screw you, Mom. Sometimes what? So I just need a message. I need to plug in my phone. Ugh. I have to take the decorations off the tree sometime. Probably like in May. By decorations, I mean highlighters, paper clips. And as the shining star of it all, a prescription pill bottle. And I'm not joking to those of you that are new. Well, I mean, what cat eternally just sits in their mother's arms? Or child, for that. Nobody stays anywhere forever. That'd be, well, I mean, some people can't move, but she can, so she leaves sometimes. No, she's come. I don't know. I'm guessing you meant down as in like I'm up for it. That's so weird. People say you're down to do something, but also you're up for it. It's like make up your mind which way you want to go. Use sideways too, specifically left or right. Well, still in Mother's Nature's arms. Oh, we're still in Mother Nature's arms. You on meds? Yeah, I take medication daily, multiple times a day. Speaking of which, I need to take my night meds. Thanks for reminding me. Actually, if you subscribe, because I don't remember if you said you already did, but I've been actually planning on doing a meds haul. That's how many I'm on. That's how many. Yeah, that one. Okay, so it's fine if you're going up and down without any consistency. So you could just be a walking yo-yo. But it's weird if you decide to deviate from that path. That's weird. But it's fine if you're up for something as long as you're down to do it as well. Just don't go sideways. Don't be sideways about it. Like, most young folk use down these days. Yeah, I use up. Down sounds like, I don't know, it sounds like I wouldn't want to do something. Usually, like, I just think of laying down, which generally means I'd like to continue laying down. You pretty much do, though, Lou. Except when you pass out, specifically during the Patreon calls. Out of nowhere. I was gonna actually ask you, is it before or after the nasty side effects kick in that it becomes the worst thing? Because I don't know if it's the worst thing, like at all times, just to run out. Probably feels like it though. Well, I'm getting kind of tired, and I'm seeing fiance, so I'll be putting. I've only passed out twice, and one of those times it was simultaneous. It's fair enough. You're trying to advertise the streams by telling people that we fall asleep during the. That's after a good 7-hour session, just to let you know, guys. Also, I may be doing a Patreon stream after this. I probably will, which is going to be a Patreon exclusive stream. So if you haven't signed up to my Patreon, please do. The link is below in the it's about to say prescription or what. It's down there in the box that usually people don't read it. It's there. Yeah, they actually really are fun. We've stayed up all night. There's one spot for the 1 month of unlimited, like, of the live streams that would usually come at the higher tier. So there's one spot left. And what else was I gonna say? No, I don't think I had anything else I was gonna say. Yes, please. Oh, yeah, please subscribe and shout out to the Patreons that I do have, which is Lou, Snowy, Feral Elements, and Macabre. With like 2 E's, I think. I think it has 2 E's. Yeah, there's a 5th one, but that's my friend, Bleach. But that's my friend being nice. So that's why there's still a spot left for the first 5 patrons. Yeah, you do get a direct messaging line with me. And I follow up with my like the benefits too. Postmates. I've done Postmates too, but like Patreon doesn't let you forget about the benefits you owe people. By the way, there's this little tab with an annoying thing that won't go away unless you mark all as complete. It is a great word. Ka. Yeah, it's because I don't really fucking know how to. I mean, I'll roast people kind of sometimes, but usually without knowing. Fuck with people. Usually, Lou and I just messing with each other on stream. Lou fucking roasting the shit. Lou has roasted me over the coals and brought another one. Yes, there's a slight correction. Anyways, well, don't do anything worth banning. I didn't intend to ban you, so you're welcome to join us on Patreon. Just don't do anything that would mean you'd get banned. Yeah, it can. I really appreciate this. Seriously, the best hype man. They call them hype men, right? Hype men. Imagine you had a whole army of them. Just a bunch of people around you to stroke your ego and like hype you up. So I just envisioning, okay, no. Anyways, so one spot left in the Patreon where you'd get to have access to the past live streams, pretty much all of them. The only ones that aren't there are ones that like I didn't keep up for whatever reason. Most of them are pretty much all up there, including one that I think is still up there that's 11 hours long. Lou and I both tapped out at the 7-hour mark though. But there's that, and then I said all the names, and you're supposed to subscribe. If you are subscribed, please make sure you still are, because YouTube likes to be really mean to people and make them be unsubscribed. It's very mean for the creators to be like, hey, why did those fucking people leave me? What did I do this time? Yeah, and the bell thing too, so you can know. It's like particularly important when you want to follow someone who does a lot of live streams. So I also always leave updates on the next stream in a pinned comment on the latest uploaded live, or the video that shows up. It'll be the live or a video, one of the two or both. And positive vibes to everyone. Thank you for putting the link. You are a good hype man. Buy a full McDonald's meal for $5. Yeah, you really can't. Like, now it's a good deal that their soda is $1. At least it's for any size, unlike other places. But anyways, positive vibes. So I'll see you next time. Bye. I was waiting for you, Lou. Thank you. Bye.